Come on the county, let's have a score. Come on the county, let's have some more. We're all behind you, so never fear. Come on the county, promotion's near. Run lads, shoot lads, give your heart and soul. Run lads, shoot lads, give us all a goal. Run lads, shoot lads, you can do it yet. Come on Newport County, oh, bang it in the net.
Hello and welcome to the 1912 Exiles podcast, the original, the biggest, the best Newport County podcast made by the fans, for the fans, brought to you as ever by the Terrace Cymru podcast network and in association with the Riverside Sports Bar, the home of great burgers and live sport in Newport. I'm Ed, and we've got another little bonus episode for you. The last week has been dominated, as well as a few signings, by discussions of friendlies. Next Saturday, we'll see the first of Newport County's pre-season friendlies away at Bristol Manor Farm. And at the time of recording this, we are awaiting confirmation of, and this still seems strange to say, a home friendly against AS Roma, which, really does boggle my mind that this could be happening. But fingers crossed, we will hear confirmation of that over the coming hours and by the time you've heard this. So we thought what we would do is put this pod out in anticipation of the first pre-season friendly. And there's a bit of background to this one. So last summer, between the final pre-season friendly and the first league game, I messaged 4 friends of the pod who'd been to most, if not all, of the pre-season games and said, just send me a short voice note on the basis of what you've seen so far and tell me how you think Newport County will do this season. Where will we finish? Who will be the standout players? Who might we bin off in January? Because I thought it would be interesting to basically put those into a time capsule for 12 months and then bring them out now to see whether we can actually predict anything useful about the season on the basis of pre-season friendlies, and whether they teach us anything or whether really they are just, nice games in the sunshine that we shouldn't read too much into. So I'm going to play you those clips in a moment. But again, there's a little bit of context. So the first 3 are from Hwyligan, Arnie, and from Stu. The fourth one we ummed and ahed about because it was from a friend of the pod, the late Ollie Allen, who, of course, we tragically lost back in January. He'd sent me the clip through. I hadn't listened to it, but I knew it was there. So I messaged his mum and said, look, we've got this clip. It's up to you. If you're happy for us to use it, then we'll use it. If you'd rather we didn't, then we won't. And to be fair to Sarah, she said, no, it was great to hear his voice again. Stick it out there. So Ollie's clip is the last one that you'll hear. And enjoy hearing the predictions of all 4 of our panellists.
Hi, this is Simon Hwyligan with a pre-season prediction of what will happen this year for Newport County. On the basis of pre-season, I think we will finish 18th in the league. I think we'll be out of the League Cup before it begins, so next week. I don't think we'll get past the group stage of the Spotifan Trophy, but I think we'll get to the third round of the FA Cup, where we'll be beaten by a Championship reserve team. I think we'll win the odd derby game, we'll lose the odd derby game, but we will beat a team destined for promotion on their own patch at some point during the season. I think the standout success this year will be Tom Davis. I think he's played well in pre-season and showed glimpses of form before he got injured last year. I think the youngster that will break through will be Moses Alexander-Walker, who is really impressed in pre-season and with that little cameo we're going to try and mirror at the end of last season. Who will be binned off come January? I'll go with Carney, if not before. Potentially Courtney Baker-Richardson. I'd be surprised to see him still in a county shirt come the end of the season as well. That's my thoughts up the county.
Greetings, Exiles. Arnie here, with a top tip to start, that if you're a bit pushed for time, there's no need to listen to any of the other time capsules, because much to Mrs. Arnie's disgust, I've had my crystal balls out on the kitchen table, so it's absolutely nailed on that I've got this on the money. I'm going to start in the obvious place. Where are we going to finish? So that's 13th in a season of perfect mid-table mediocrity without even a hint of drama. To the point where come April, we're going to have wound up county chat because they'll have had nothing to moan about or get excited about since Christmas. Players to watch, I'm going to start at top because we are going to score an absolute avalanche of goals. The catalyst for this is CBR having a late summer software update, unlocking new gameplay features, including winning headers in the opposition box as well as in our own. And CBR version 2.0 is going to link up with Rheindorf for the most potent strike force in League Two, feeding on a constant supply of glorious passes from Matty Smith. Next stop, I'm going to bypass midfield altogether and look to the defence, where I think solid foundations at the back with Clarkey having an absolute stormer is going to put us in a really good position. And all that in front of NT2, who's going to be absolutely huge for us in goals, both physically and metaphorically, stopping everything that is thrown at him. I've got a category of impact off the bench, which is going to be Moses Alexander-Walker, brought to you in association with the Supporters Trust, which you can join at ncafctrust.org. Absolutely no plug there at all. And then Housewife's Choice category, where I think the baton is going to have passed from Kai Whitmore to Lee Jenkins, because I think county fans are going to love the way he gets stuck in and does some proper old school defending. I've got a wild card, which is Cam Evans in the role of midfield enforcer, allocated to just basically stamp on any opposition playmaker in every game. And then, January outgoings, January sales. That's a tricky one. But for me, it's Bobby Camwa, because I just can't see where he's going to get to play, get much game time if we just go for two up top. So that's it from me. We shall see you at the far post. And Ed, let me know where I've got to go to collect those winnings.
Hi 1912s, Stu here. Been to all the pre-season games, but I'm not exactly full of optimism and hope. It's been a little bit hit and miss. I appreciate a lot of it's to do with getting fitness and trying new things. I think we're likely to finish, at this moment in time, I think we're likely to finish 16th to 18th. I think marginally better than last season. I think the squad's tiny bit better maybe. We look a little bit more organised. We've got more of a 3-5-2 now, which makes us quite good defensively. But I do worry about the attack. I think the breakout player this season, probably Matt Smith. I think it's exactly what we've been needing for a long time, a defensive midfielder that can be composed with the ball. The breakout star, I think, will be Moses, but I think the 5-3-2 might hurt that. He doesn't really have a real home for that. And I think that in the January window, I think we're probably likely to see the end of Spellman. Again, the 3-5-2 is going to kill him. I think Greaves probably move on at some point. I think he's an excellent player, but he just can't seem to stay fit. I don't really know what's going on there. And I think Carney has to be gone at some point, just because we've got two goalkeepers now that want to be number ones. I can't see how a third one's going to fit in. That's it really. I think it's going to be slightly better than last year, but I'm not exactly booking my Wembley trip just yet. Thanks.
So pre-season has come to a close. I've seen us play every match, and I definitely think the players have a better understanding of the system now when there seems to be a bit more cohesion. In terms of league position, I'm going to go, my head says somewhere between 18th and 20th, so I'll split the difference and I'll go 19th. A marked improvement on last season, but still far from the ceiling of where I think this team and this club should be. In terms of a standout player, I'm going to go for Lee Jenkins. I think he's got all the abilities to sort of become one of the better centre-backs at this club. He's well built, so I doubt physicality is going to be an issue. Might take a few games for him to get up to League 2 level, but I don't think that's going to be a weakness for him. He's quite mobile as well, so it might help if he's playing alongside someone like a Clark or a Warner. In terms of which young player is going to come good, I think Michael Reindorf, the young pacey lad from Cardiff. I don't see him scoring many goals, but he's certainly going to create the opportunities for his counterpart to score a few, whoever that may be. And in terms of which players are going to leave in January, I think the likes of Camworth, Spellman and Greaves, not through lack of ability or lack of desire, but I just don't think the current system, this 3-5-2, suits them well. We've tried to shoehorn Camber and Greaves in as strikers, and it's not really worked, but at the same time, that's not their natural position, so they wouldn't expect it to. So I think it'll be sad to see them go, but I think it's just part and parcel of the game, and a change to a formation which might not benefit them, but it does benefit the wider team.
So there you go. What did you make of that? I mean, there were a few things that stuck out for me from each of those. Hwyligan, I thought, was on the money in suggesting that Tom Davies would be one of the successes of last season. I think that turned out to be the case. Arnie was maybe a little bit tongue-in-cheek when he suggested the avalanche of goals, thanks to Courtney Baker-Richardson and Michael Reindorf. But he was on point with a few other predictions. Stu correctly said we'd be marginally better than last season, which is true in terms of position, if not in every area. Ollie was actually closest in terms of where we had finished. He predicted 19th. Everyone else was more optimistic, although interestingly, no one put us in the top half. Ollie did somewhat blot his copybook, though, by also predicting that Michael Reindorf would come good. Other things that I thought were interesting, Moses Alexander-Walker's late season form in 2024-25 and in pre-season made several people think that he would be a breakout star, which obviously didn't come to pass. Whilst at the other end of the telescope, two correspondents speculated that Bobby Campbell might leave in January because he didn't fit our system and style. How glad we are that he didn't, eh? Lee Jenkins was predicted to be the breakout star by Ollie and the Housewife's Choice by Arnie. So I thought that was interesting that he was spotted early on as being a player of potential. So let's take a step back and think, well, what are the learning points from some of that? And there are a few for me. Firstly, players who might fit one manager's system might not fit another, and indeed vice versa. So a poor pre-season might not mean that a player doesn't end up becoming pivotal for the season as a whole, Bobby Campbell being the obvious example. Equally, players who shine in pre-season when seeking to make an impression may not be able to sustain that form, and Michael Reindorf is the obvious example there. Injuries make a mockery of all of our predictions. Matt Smith was mentioned by a couple of the team, but obviously did not play as much as they would have predicted. And I also think that it's interesting that sometimes you can still spot the players who might make a step up and who don't look overawed by their surroundings. So Ollie and Arnie both like what they saw of Lee Jenkins, and there may be something there for some of the players who came in January, James Kroll, Cole Jarvis, who have had a bit of time now to get used to their surroundings. Can they make the step up? Can they really show in pre-season that they are ready to elevate their form to the next level? As we await Saturday's first pre-season friendly at Bristol Manor Farm and potentially news of that game against Roma, I suppose the key message that we can draw from those contributions is let's all keep a little bit of perspective. If we win or lose pre-season games, it doesn't really mean a thing. And certain players performing well or badly will often not correlate to how they would do over the course of a league season. And for me, the big takeaway is that luck and fate have got a big role. The signing for whom we predict big things might get crocked and not kick a ball, whilst a peripheral player who doesn't seem to fit the system we're playing in July might end up being the man who defines our season come April or May. So there you have it. Let's enjoy the pre-season games for the bit of fun that they are. Let's enjoy seeing the new kits and the pleasure of watching football in the sunshine with a cold beer and the result not mattering. There'll be plenty of time for angst and apocalyptic predictions about the future when you're watching us lose a game in -2 degrees on the proverbial Tuesday night in January against Rotherham. So let's listen to all of our correspondents and have their words in our mind come Saturday. See you at Bristol Manor Farm on what will no doubt be a massive day out for the Trialist family. But until then, exiles, look after yourselves and each other. And above all, as always, keep it county.
So all together, let's all join in. Run, lads, shoot, lads, give your heart and soul. Run, lads, shoot, lads, give us all a go. Run, lads, shoot, lads, you can do it yet. Come on, Newport County, oh, bang it in the net.